You stop scrolling. Out of thousands of videos flooding your feed right now, your hand paused on this one. Your nervous system recognized something before your conscious mind caught up. This moment carries alignment. The test you just passed was silent, and most people fail it without realizing a test even existed. You're still reading these words, which means something powerful is shifting inside you. Most people would have moved on by now, chasing the next dopamine hit, the next distraction from what really matters. You sense there's more here than surface content, something that might change everything. Your body is responding to these words in ways you might not fully register yet. Your heart rate has shifted slightly. Your breathing has deepened. Somewhere in your neural architecture, pathways that have been dormant are beginning to fire in new configurations. This is your frequency being activated. Your consciousness is being redirected. At this very moment, a subtle alteration is occurring in your personal quantum field. Researchers studying human potential at its highest expression have discovered that real transformation never begins with massive external action. It starts with a quiet shift in awareness, a microscopic change in how you perceive reality that ripples outward into every area of your existence. Maintaining your attention here with me is the first phase of that process. You're about to encounter truths about your consciousness, your hidden patterns, and your destiny's calling. These are insights most people never discover until they've spent decades wandering in confusion and dissatisfaction. Something tangible will happen as you absorb this. You'll experience realizations that could fundamentally alter how you understand who you are and why you're here. Scientists studying brain function have found that people miss approximately 94% of the opportunities that could transform their lives. Your brain's automatic avoidance response activates the instant it detects even mild discomfort. Consider that for a moment. Your mind automatically rejects almost every chance to completely revolutionize your existence before you even become conscious of the opportunity. In a misguided attempt to keep you safe, your brain is actually imprisoning you. Even more remarkable is that your unconscious mind knows your next 5 moves 6 to 8 seconds before your conscious awareness registers anything. As you read these words, your subconscious has already decided whether you'll read this through to the end, whether you'll apply what you learn, whether you'll allow this moment to be the pivot point it's designed to be. Real documented neuroscience showing how your mind is constructing your reality second by second. But something even more extraordinary is occurring beneath the surface. Quantum physics researchers have discovered that consciousness is what collapses waves of possibility into the reality we perceive and experience. The quantum field surrounding you is literally reorganizing every second you maintain full attention here. You're generating new patterns of possibility that didn't exist before you chose to be present right now. You're actively constructing your new reality. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than your brain's field. It extends several feet from your body in all directions. As these concepts resonate with the deeper knowing part of you, your heart's electromagnetic signature is changing. A new frequency is being broadcast into the quantum field. This frequency will begin attracting experiences, opportunities, and people who match the emerging version of you. This explains why certain events, messages, and people feel destined. Magnetic fields are created at the intersection where your consciousness meets the infinite intelligence of the universe. You're receiving exactly what your soul requires at this juncture to advance to its next evolutionary level. The most astonishing part is that you being here right now means your unconscious mind has already chosen transformation. Your higher self guided you to this exact position. Your soul knew this message contained something it needed to hear. This is your consciousness calling out to itself, creating the precise conditions for your awakening. This goes beyond watching a video. You're here to actively transform, to feel more deeply, to evolve in tangible ways. By the time we complete this journey together, You'll understand the invisible chains that have been restraining you and discover the exact steps required to shatter them. The voice in your head that urged you to keep watching, that quiet whisper that said this is for you, that's your higher intelligence. This is the universe conspiring to create perfect conditions for what your soul has been craving to manifest. We need to address this moment before we explore the transformation you're seeking, because life is advancing with or without your consent, and you're standing at a critical crossroads whether you recognize it or not. Time doesn't pause. It doesn't accommodate our fears, our justifications for delay, our excuses. It simply flows forward, carrying us along. You're making choices right now, whether to take full ownership of your existence or simply drift. Small choices and large ones, all steering you toward the same destination. Everything you think, everything you feel, every action you choose is like casting a stone into the vast ocean of possibility. Ripples extend far beyond what you can perceive. One path leads to growth, courage, and becoming the highest version of yourself you've always envisioned. People who walk this path embrace discomfort. They expand, and they have experiences that generate genuine aliveness. People who refuse to settle for mediocrity follow this path. The other path ends in stagnation, excuses, and quiet, enduring regret. This route offers minimal effort. It's the comfortable prison most people mistake for safety. Unlived dreams and recurring what-ifs haunt it, creating a bitterness that intensifies with time. Your destiny begins right now. It starts burning with the next choice you make. When you postpone your aspirations, mindlessly consume content, or tell yourself you'll start tomorrow, you're making a choice. That choice is constructing your life one brick at a time. Most people remain unaware they're building their own prison until they find themselves trapped inside, wondering how they arrived there. Tomorrow exists only as concept. It's perpetually easy to find another justification to wait or postpone. But perfection is the enemy of progress. Waiting for perfect timing is sophisticated procrastination. This is the preparation paradox. The more time we invest preparing to do something, the less likely that thing is to happen. Your brain deceives you into believing more preparation will improve your performance. Research proves otherwise. People who act at 70% certainty consistently outperform those who wait for 90% certainty. The window of opportunity has usually closed by the time 90% certainty arrives. The universe rewards momentum. It responds to movement, not endless planning. Every day you delay, compound interest accumulates and begins working against you instead of for you. If you invested $1 today and it doubled daily, you'd have over $1 billion in 30 days. Start after just 10 days and you'll have less than $1 million. Delay carries exponential cost. This applies to everything. The connections you don't make, the knowledge you don't acquire, the objectives you don't pursue. Their absence creates an increasingly constricted existence. Many people say they'll begin when they're ready. They're waiting for motivation to strike like lightning and confidence to arrive like a delivery package. Here's a truth that might sting. Nobody is ever truly ready. The most successful people in history were often terrified when they took their first step. They didn't feel ready, confident, or qualified. They differed from everyone else because they moved forward despite the fear. They understood that readiness is a choice to act in spite of fear. Growth is messy. It hurts. You must abandon the comfortable zone you've inhabited. Even if that zone has become a cage, reaching your destination requires releasing the version of yourself that brought you here. Becoming who you are means letting go of who you were. This process carries pain. It wounds your pride. Stories will surface about why you should wait, why you're inadequate, why you need more time. These are fabrications, elaborately constructed lies designed to keep you exactly where you are. Your mind is making a choice this instant. Push through this discomfort or escape to something easier. That seemingly minor choice differentiates people who only dream from people who manifest their dreams. That's where the road divides. The universe doesn't need to grant you permission, though your presence here right now serves as powerful indication. You don't need permission. You don't need a guru or savior. You simply need to release the concept that a perfect starting time exists. Ideal conditions are myth. It's the fairy tale we tell ourselves when we're afraid to begin. We exist only in this moment. Infinite possibilities reside in this moment. The universe holds countless opportunities and miracles waiting for you to say yes. But you must participate. You must choose. Most people remain trapped, either reliving yesterday's regrets or paralyzed by tomorrow's anxieties. But real change can only occur in this present moment. The past is memory. The future is blank canvas. Today is where your power lives. This message reached you today, instead of last week when you might not have been receptive, or next month when the opportunity might have vanished. You're here because you want more. Let's address that inner voice before we discuss the dreams you've been postponing. You know the one. The voice that says, "Don't try that, you'll fail, you're inadequate." You've heard it murmuring in the background for years, maybe decades. It has shaped your decisions, your self-worth, your entire existence. Your inner critic has been your constant companion. It functions like a self-appointed guardian attempting to keep you safe by making you small. It sounds exactly like you. It resonates as logical. It feels like genuine truth coming from you. Most people never learn this. That voice is lying. It uses your tone but originated elsewhere. It formed from old anxieties, wounds, and cruel comments people made when you were too young and vulnerable to know better. It's constructed from societal expectations and 1,000 small defeats. That internal voice took shape every time someone told you to be realistic. Every time you attempted something and failed. Every time you felt judged or dismissed. It learned to predict your failure before you even started as protection from future pain. The longer you believe it, the more authority it claims. It becomes the lens filtering every opportunity. But this voice has no knowledge of your future. It only knows your past and assumes tomorrow will mirror today. There have been moments when clarity struck instantly. Times when you considered being brave, taking risks, finally pursuing a lifelong aspiration. In those crystalline moments, you glimpsed the person you could become. But then, within milliseconds, that voice returns. It doesn't shout. It whispers persistently with what sounds like perfectly reasonable concerns. What if you fail? What will people say? You lack sufficient experience. The timing is wrong. In that brief hesitation, that second of doubt, your potential evaporates. The dream stops breathing. The window to act closes. This pattern defines most people's lives. They fail in small, quiet ways repeatedly, never in spectacular fashion. Neuroscientists call this the 5-second rule. When you feel impulse to do something, you have approximately 5 seconds before your brain intervenes with all its fears and doubts to keep you safe. Those 5 seconds determine the difference between the life you're living and the life you could live. The most accomplished people have learned to recognize these 5-second windows. They don't wait for fear to dissipate. They count down and move. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. This involves making a commitment to yourself before your mind can manufacture reasons to retreat. It means prioritizing your future self over your present comfort. Every significant forward movement begins with a small choice made during clarity before fear clouds your perception again. We're fortunate to be here now. You must act on this immediately. Take a moment to truly absorb this before continuing. Anxiety will always masquerade as wisdom. Fear is intelligent. It doesn't manifest as irrational panic. It dresses up and calls itself common sense. It whispers, "Let's be practical." The timing is wrong. Wait until you feel confident. Most of us don't question these arguments because they sound mature and responsible, but they're actually fear disguised as prudence. Successful people never wait for confidence. They acknowledge their fear and advance anyway. They know courage means acting despite fear. They understand that confidence emerges from action. Every expert started as beginner. Every success story began with someone scared and uncertain who chose to start anyway. You can be ready even when you don't feel ready. Consider the most significant discoveries ever made. None were made by people certain they were prepared. They were made by people willing to act despite uncertainty. They understood that the path only reveals itself once you begin walking, never while standing at the trailhead attempting to map every step. You'll never achieve absolute certainty. You'll wait forever. Readiness is a choice to act despite fear. Your inner critic will always exist because it's hardwired for survival. Its function is keeping you alive, but that's all. Thank it for caring, and then choose to lead with your soul. Right now, in this exact second, you possess everything required to begin. You don't need more money. You don't need to feel smarter. You don't need everyone else's belief in you. Right now, exactly as you are, you're sufficient. That voice claiming otherwise is running obsolete programming. Let's honor what already exists inside you before discussing the future you're meant to create. Most people feel something crucial is missing from their lives. More time, more talent, better connections. They're perpetually searching for that external element that will finally unlock their full potential. The truth is staggering. You already possess everything you need. You're whole. You lack nothing. An extraordinary journey awaits you. You are complete and perfect exactly as you are. This truth has been buried by comparison and conditioning. There's a version of you that's ready for deployment. A version that emerges during crisis. A version that refuses to surrender. A version that demands more from existence than mediocrity. This version already exists. You don't need to construct it. Just remember it and allow it forward. It emerges when you stop diminishing yourself to comfort others, when you stop apologizing for your brilliance and start expressing it fully. An unimaginable pulse of energy emanates from the very core of your being. Greatness doesn't come from being the smartest or fastest. It comes from choosing to persist when you desperately want to quit. That power is yours. The power inside you pays no attention to external circumstances or past history. It only responds when you choose to activate it. Throughout history, some of the greatest achievements emerged from the worst starting conditions. Your obstacles are building materials for greatness. Every hardship has made you stronger. Every failure has taught you something invaluable. Nothing in your life has been wasted. Before we design your ideal life, understand this. Potential isn't found. It's awakened. You don't need to search for it. It already resides within you, waiting to emerge. You awaken it when you choose to live from purpose instead of fear. Living from fear means attempting to stay safe and avoid pain. You repeat the same limiting patterns endlessly from a defensive survival-based mindset. Living with purpose means infusing your existence with meaning and contributing to something larger than yourself. This mindset is offensive and thriving, pulling you toward growth and profound fulfillment. Everything transforms when you make this shift. Reflect on what you've already survived. You've endured things designed to break you, yet you're still here. There have been days when continuing seemed impossible, when surrender seemed the only option. Despite everything, you're alive, standing, still seeking more. That's unbreakable strength. You've always possessed the capacity to navigate your worst days. That's power. People who succeed in life don't always have backup plans. They simply refuse to quit with undefeatable spirit. They trust their own power more than surrounding chaos. While others wait for perfect conditions, they work with what they have where they are. You possess more power than you recognize, and you already have everything needed to command your life. You simply need to choose activation. Let's discuss the one element that will create massive difference in your existence. Taking action. Everything we've covered so far exists as concept. Ideas alone are daydreams. Knowledge without application is entertainment. There's a reason you're here. Some part of you knew you were ready for this. Your consciousness guided you here. Now comes the real test. Translating this insight into action in physical reality. This is where most people become paralyzed. They feel inspired and driven, then do nothing. You're different. You stayed this long because you're ready to confront truth. You recognize you're capable of vastly more. Today, take the first step, even if it seems small or imperfect. You could contact someone you've been avoiding. Write down an objective or initiate a new daily practice aligned with who you're becoming. Don't wait for perfect conditions to materialize. They don't exist. Right now is the only moment that genuinely matters. Your actions today will shape your future self. Picture yourself 1 year from now. What do you want that person to thank you for? You want them to remember the courageous choice as the moment everything shifted. That person you'll be in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years will feel profound gratitude that you were brave today. Imagine the alternative. The future person who feels regret right now. This version of you who did nothing. They surrendered to fear. They remain exactly where they started, haunted by what-ifs and missed opportunities. As you absorb these words, they look back wishing desperately they had chosen differently. This isn't fear-mongering. This is cultivating sacred urgency. Your time is your most valuable asset. Each choice you make today is casting a vote for who you want to become. Don't seek permission from others. It must come from within. Accept this as confirmation. You already know what to do. You've known all along. Choosing to act is the first step toward the life you've been craving. Change never happens through waiting. It starts with the first small step. You only need to take the first step in faith. Action creates clarity. Movement builds momentum. You don't figure everything out and then start. You figure it out as you advance. There's an elegant way the universe supports people who support themselves. When you act despite uncertainty, resources appear. Opportunities manifest. Helpers emerge in ways you couldn't have orchestrated. This is how reality operates. When you alter your actions, you shift your position in the quantum web of existence, opening new possibilities. You can select a new trajectory today that leads directly to the life you've always known you were meant to live. You could watch this video every morning to deeply integrate these truths, or you could share it with someone who needs to hear it. Sharing this level of consciousness sends energetic waves that accelerate manifestation for both you and them. This was meant for you to encounter. There was no algorithmic accident. This was synchronicity. This was your higher self delivering exactly what you needed at the precise moment. Now go embody the person you were always meant to be. The world needs your unique gift. Your turn has arrived. Your time is now. Your transformation begins with the next choice you make. Choose with courage. Choose with love. Choose now. Your extraordinary future is calling. Are you going to answer? You need to understand how synchronicities will begin appearing all around you now that you're aware of these truths. Watch what unfolds in the next 72 hours. Pay attention to people who contact you unexpectedly. Notice ideas that drop into your consciousness fully formed. Observe opportunities presenting themselves in surprising ways. Track synchronicities that feel too precise to be random. These are the first visible signs that the cascade is beginning. Your nervous system will recognize them before your mind catches up. You'll feel a particular sensation in your chest, an opening or expansion, when something aligned appears. That's your internal guidance system confirming you're on the correct path. The breakthrough phase operates on its own timeline, and that timeline accelerates exponentially once certain conditions are met. You've met those conditions. The preview experiences you've been having were the universe testing your readiness to receive. You passed those tests. Now the real delivery begins. You'll start noticing patterns in seemingly random events. Conversations will contain precisely the information you need. Books will fall open to relevant pages. Songs will play with lyrics that answer your questions. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations that you've shifted frequencies and reality is responding to your new vibration. Your energy field is reorganizing itself right now as you integrate these concepts. The electromagnetic signature your heart broadcasts is changing, and that change ripples outward into the quantum field, attracting matching frequencies. People who resonate with your new frequency will begin appearing in your life. Some will be temporary teachers bringing specific lessons. Others will become long-term allies in your evolution. Trust the natural selection process. Not everyone from your old life will make sense in your new one, and that's exactly as it should be. You're being recalibrated at the cellular level. Your DNA is receiving new instructions. Your neural pathways are forming new connections. Your belief systems are being upgraded. This isn't metaphor. This is measurable biological transformation occurring in response to conscious intention. Scientists studying epigenetics have proven that consciousness can alter gene expression. The thoughts you're thinking right now are literally changing which genes are active in your body. The emotions you're feeling are releasing neurochemicals that reshape your brain architecture. This transformation will continue accelerating as long as you maintain conscious participation. The universe responds to sustained attention and consistent action. Small daily choices compound into massive results over time. The key is maintaining forward momentum even when results aren't immediately visible. Most people quit 3 feet from gold because they can't see the breakthrough approaching. You're going to be different. You're going to trust the process even when your rational mind demands immediate evidence. Your breakthrough is inevitable, and it's closer than you think.